Hey, welcome to Lawnmower Care. Today we got a good one. We're going to replace the air filter and the pre-filter and a carburetor on this 21 horse engine. We already have the 4 bolts removed from the cover, the top cover of the engine here. 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and then 11 millimeter for these 2 nuts on the back side of this black elbow here. So here's our 11 millimeter. We're going to go right back here and slide that 11 millimeter on and remove these 2 nuts. On the side of this elbow, there's like a vacuum line that plugs to it, so be very careful on plugging that. You can kind of see it sticking up a little bit at the top left of the carburetor. That's a vacuum line that kind of goes down to it. But just kind of ratchet this thing off. And we'll just lay it off to the side with the two nuts. We already put a new fuel line on this tractor and fuel filter, but this thing is like 15 years old, so it's got some corrosion and things, which isn't good for like inside the jets and stuff. Like it can restrict fuel and cause you some problems. So we're just going to go ahead and throw a $20 carburetor on here. Sometimes the $20 carburetor is a lot better than the replacement kit that you can pick up. So, like the rebuild, you know. Some people go and want to rebuild this thing. And anyway, we'll get a 5/16 here and take these 2 off. Or I think it would be a 8 millimeter. Help you out a little bit. Take these 2 long bolts out. And it'll kind of fall off in your hand, but at the bottom of this carburetor, there's an electronic solenoid that you want to unplug as well. And that's going to plug into your new carburetor that you get. But, yeah, it'll kind of fall out in your hand here. And there's a choke that hooks to the black. And then there's a spring attached to the arm that connects to the accelerator there. There's 2 holes there. There's one for your main arm, and then there's another little hole for the little spring, so it has like a spring action that goes back and forth. We're going to undo these right now. There's a choke, which is not too bad to undo, and then the spring and the main lever here. And right next to that main lever, there's a spring that goes all the way up that. And that's what you kind of want to hook back into the new carburetor. And then the little short arm, you know, is for your choke. These are just throttle, you know, linkages. Yeah, that's what they call them, just linkages. Right on that long linkage there's a spring. And then your short linkage is your choke that just plugs into that plate down there. And then there's our vacuum line that we're going to plug into the side. But the main thing is just kind of get this spring worked in, and then you want to line it up. Now, don't forget your gasket. Even if you use the old gasket, that's cool, but you kind of want to line your bolts up after you get these linkages, you know, plugged in. And if you need to hold the carburetor for a second while you look for your gasket or whatever, that's cool. But don't forget to put that gasket in there. If it's personal use, you can use that old factory gasket. I don't judge. Or you can slide the new gasket on, and then throw your two back in and use your 5/16 or your 8 millimeter to kind of crank these back down. And just get it kind of tight. And this is a good carburetor. This one's for the intek engines. I would say 14 and a half, 15, 16, 17, 18 and a half, 19 and a half, 20, and 21. This engine's just a flathead 21, and this carburetor will fit just fine, and this should run just perfectly. I also have other model numbers that this will fix, and I will put those in the description as well. But we're just cranking down here and getting everything all torqued up. But we got our linkages hooked up, and our new fuel line in a video I did prior You can check that out if you wanted to, like all the different parts I got and how I put that together. But it'll just plug right up to this new carburetor with ease. And we'll work on getting that top cover back on. But it's not too bad of a job. It's those 2 nuts, and then it's these 2 really long bolts that kind of hold everything together. And don't forget that vacuum line on the side. And here's our elbow, and it's got a seal, a little red seal, and you can clean that up if you want, but it'll just fit right here. And then our 2 11mm nuts go right back on. So we just crank those in real quick and install this vacuum line, like I was saying just a second ago. Just make sure that gets plugged in. Here we go. We're just going to crank these on and kind of be in good shape. This carburetor kit was nice. It came with the carburetor itself, a mounting gasket, even a fuel line that we kind of used, earlier in the last video, and even like a little jet cleaner kit came with this. And you got to think, it's only a $20 carburetor, but it came with a lot of stuff. And this Kippa brand, it has like 400 reviews, so not too bad of just success, how I just got this, garden equipment back up and running. And a lot of people said it was the perfect replacement, kind of like an OEM kind of replacement. So no complaints there. I mean, just lay this stuff out if you would, just organize it, and it just goes back really easy. You can see I'm putting my clamp on, and we'll get everything all buttoned up here. It's coming to a close. There's the new line, new carburetors on. Now we'll be working on just getting that hood on. And sometimes if someone's tinkered with it before, you'll be missing bolts. Sometimes if you're missing pieces, you can order them right online. We're turning our shut off. We want to turn that on, let the gas flow. At the end of the season, you shut that off and let that carburetor run out, or all that plastic will get eaten. The gas turns into like a varnish. Here comes our hood. We got a new air filter and pre-filter because that's what we do every year. We replace the fuel filter, and this stuff's pretty cheap on Amazon, and it doesn't take much to do this maintenance. I've seen people get rid of their tractor because they didn't do this kind of stuff. Maintenance is everything, guys. Just a little bit of maintenance can keep your machine running, and then you're not spending $2,000 and $3,000 on a new tractor. Anyway, a quick review of the work that has been done. Beautiful shut-off valve. You can see that the gas is in the new filter. It comes down to the new carburetor, new pre-filter, new air filter. Now it's time to see if she'll start here. First test. We're not going to choke it. We're just going to put it on low. Wow, no choke. Starts right up. Turn it up, see how it sounds. That's a carburetor right out of the box, folks. I'll put all the information on everything I use, the air filter, pre-filter, all these parts here came with the carburetor, except the shutoff valve that I put in. But yeah, I'll list everything in my description. Anyway, you've been watching Lawnmower Care. If you like what you're seeing and you want to see more, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.